Hey, I'm Jamie from Stonemeyer Games, and today I'm going to talk to you about my 2024 gift guide. This video kind of revisits a video I filmed back in 2018 that I'll link to in the description below if you want to go check out Younger Jamie, where I talk about the act of gift giving, in particular, the act of giving gifts for gamers in your life that considers, rather than considering what you want to give them, you consider way more higher than that what they want to receive, using the rubric of love languages to figure this out. There are 5 main love languages. I'm going to replace one of them on this list with another category that makes more sense for gaming. But the idea of love languages is finding things that make the other person feel cared for, seen, and loved. Thinking about that, thinking about the other person, what makes them feel cared for, seen, and loved, which may not be a physical gift. This is not a video about the specific games that I recommend that you give to people, because the actual tangible games might not be the category that makes someone feel loved. That physical gifts, tangible gifts, might not be their love language. So that'll actually be the last love language that I get to today. Let's start with one of the other ones, which is words of affirmation. This is when you show your appreciation for someone. You use your words to express how you feel about them, and to make them feel valued and seen and cared for. So in words of affirmation, there are 3 different ways that I think you can give to a gamer in your life this holiday season or at any time. One is to playtest their prototype. If they are not just a gamer, but a game designer, and you offer to give your time to playtest their prototype, that can mean a lot. I say this as a designer, that can mean a lot when someone can come to me and say, hey, Jamie, I'm free next Saturday. I'd love to, if you are looking to playtest this game that you're working on, I'd love to be there for you. I'd love to playtest that game. It is somewhat of a burden for designers. Not a burden. Burden isn't quite the right word, but we can feel guilty sometimes asking you to use your time to playtest an unpublished game that probably doesn't work all that well yet compared to a published game that does work well. So you offering that is a huge gift. Also, under words of affirmation, you can offer to play their favorite game. So this is a gift. I'm talking about gifts here, not things that don't actually cost any money in some of these categories, but can still have a huge impact on someone. And this is to simply offer to someone, hey, I know your favorite game is this. I know you haven't gotten to play it in a while. Would you like to play it with me? Can I play this game with you? And that can be in person or even remotely these days on Tabletopia or Board Game Arena. To reach out to someone that you care about and say, hey, I want to play your favorite game with you. And you may not even know their favorite game. You can let them pick that favorite game. But I bet if you reached out to a gamer in your life, someone whose love language is words of affirmation, and you said, I see you, I get that you may not get to play your favorite game all that often. That's the gift that I want to give to you this holiday season. That would mean the world to some people. And the last category in words of affirmation is to potentially reach out to that person's favorite designer or the designer of their favorite game, and to see if that designer would write a little message or film a little video kind of thanking that person for their love of the game. That could be a really nice surprise for someone to receive, especially a little video from a designer saying, hey, thanks for playing my game and loving my game. That could be really cool, given that you took the effort to hear that person's what their favorite game is, and to have the designer reach out and share their appreciation for that person for loving the game. If you do this, because I've been asked to do this, and my preferred way is if someone emails me and gives me a little bit of information about the person, lets me know their favorite game, their name, what the occasion is, can help, and just ask for a video. I would recommend not asking for a special signature, because that can actually be quite a hassle, especially when any designer, if you run into them at a convention, they're going to be willing to sign your game. But it's much more inconvenient for them to actually figure out how to mail something to you, especially halfway around the world. But a video takes, I turn on the video and I can film it in a minute. So yeah, so those are my picks for words of affirmation. The next love language category is acts of service. So outside of the gaming space, an act of service would be like if you I don't know. I'm trying to think. I was going to say if you take care of an oil change for my car, something like that. If you do me a favor that saves me some time, that saves me some inconvenience, that can mean a lot to some people. Acts of service, I would say, is probably my highest love language. So there are three categories for this that I thought of. One is a huge one is if you have someone in your life who feels highly loved and highly valued through acts of service, if you offer to learn and teach a game on their shelf that they are really, really excited to play, but haven't gotten the chance to learn and play it, that can be huge. I feel so cared for when someone takes the time to do that. I do like to learn games from the rulebook. It's important for me to do that as a designer, but it is also one of those. It is a roadblock between me having a game and actually playing the game. And I'm guessing most people watching this video have at least one game on their shelf that they're kind of dreading learning a little bit because maybe it's a really long rule book. But imagine if someone offered to you to learn that game and teach it to you. That is a wonderful gift to receive. And that's one of those things where many of our shelves or some of our shelves are already full of games. And some of those games we just haven't played. We don't necessarily need more games right now. But we would, at least for me, I would love to play some of the games on my shelf that I haven't gotten to play yet. So offering to learn and teach a game, whether it's a game on someone's shelf or maybe it's just a game that they've heard about that they want to play, that can mean a lot. One that came up actually in the last video that doesn't pertain to me because I don't have kids, but offering to babysit for someone so they can go and have a game night or whatever they want to do. But we're talking about gamers here. So say a game night, if you offer to babysit for them so that they can have that special game night, whether it's a couple or they can go to a game night for once. I think a lot of people with kids maybe don't get to go to game nights as often anymore because they're taking care of their kids. Offering to babysit for them can be a huge act of service if you want to give to them in that way. And the last category, I couldn't figure out exactly where to put this, but I put it under active service because it involves you making something, is offering, or not even offering, but just doing this. You can just do this. Show up at a game night if you know that you're going to play a specific game at that game night and bring a thematic food, a thematic dish that you made specifically for that game. So if you know that you're going to play, viticulture on a given night, if you bring a bottle of wine and you bring a cheese platter that you prepared for that game, that could be a really neat special thing to give to someone, especially if someone appreciates good food and good drinks. That can mean a lot. For me, I've often joked that one of the love languages that isn't officially a love language is chocolate, because I love chocolate so much. So, and I love creating particularly memorable occasions through even ordinary games, standalone games, and food and drink can often elevate the experience and the memory of playing a specific game. So I think that's a neat act of service that you can offer to someone to make a thematic meal or dish. So that's acts of service, the second category. The third category is quality time. So the idea of quality time is that you are, that you're spending really enriching time getting to know someone better, essentially, and helping and letting them get to know you if they want to do that as well. Quality time is a huge love language. And so I have a few different ideas for this. If you have someone in your life who feels the most seen and cared for and loved through quality time. This is the type of person in your life who every now and then they reach out to you and they say, hey, do you want to get lunch? I'd love to catch up and spend an hour or two with you. That's a quality time type of person. So one of the things that I mentioned in my original video that I still like is a form of quality time for someone who likes games with miniatures would be to get them a painting set and just spend some time painting miniatures while you talk with them. That can be a really nice way to just kind of chill with someone and have a good time with them. You can buy them the game with the miniatures if you want, or you can find a game in their collection where they have the miniatures, where maybe they've been wanting to paint them or wanting to enhance them. And you can get them that painting set and just spend some quality time painting with them. That can be a great way to have quality time with someone. Another way is to, similar to what I mentioned a second ago, the example is to go to a game store or go to a game cafe with someone. Say, hey, let's go play games together at our local game cafe. I'll get the tab, I'll get the drinks, I'll get the fee to get in. that can be a great way to spend an afternoon with someone and as a gift for them. Go to a game cafe, or you can say, hey, let's go to a game store together. Let's walk around. Let's just spend an hour or so at a game store, just walking around, maybe trying a game, maybe. And at the end of our little excursion, I'm going to get the game that you want. I think that can be a really neat way to just get to know someone better and to spend that quality time with them, walking around a game store and just talking about the games that you've played, the games that you might want to play, looking at them. Yeah, I think that can be a really neat way to spend quality time with them. And if, again, some of these things that I'm mentioning are free. They don't cost anything other than your time. They don't cost money. But this is one that could cost money if you wanted to say, hey, let's go spend an hour here, and I want to get you the game that you're most excited to see off the shelf while we're at this game store. And finally, the last one in quality time is to, I mentioned earlier, to pick someone else's favorite game and say, let's play that game, even though maybe you don't actually enjoy that game all that much. But with quality time, I think you could pick a game that both of you love and say, hey, here's a game that we both love. We haven't played it for a while. I challenge you to this game, or let's go play this game together if it's a cooperative game. I think that can be a neat way to spend some quality time with someone, to find something that you both truly love, that you both really, really get excited about, and to experience that together. And it may even be not necessarily a game that you both love, but maybe a theme that you both love. That can be fun too, to share that theme that you both love together. So that is the third category, quality time. The fourth category here is my made-up category. This is a made-up love language. This isn't actually a real one. The real love language for this category is physical touch. But I didn't think that fit all that well with the gaming love languages idea for this video. So the one that I've made up, that I've talked about a little bit on my personal blog, is quantity time. So this is someone who, rather than having like shorter, intense sessions where you're having a really deep conversation with someone, this is the type of person who just wants to spend a lot of time together. They just like to be around you or be around people quite a bit. They're often extroverts. So quantity time is another category of love languages that I think is semi-legitimate, but also kind of made up by me. But I definitely experienced, I know people like this who just enjoy having a lot of time with you. They're the type of person in your life who they might reach out to you a lot. And when you get together with them, you don't actually talk about all that much, but you can tell that they just feel valued, that they're spending time with you. So 3 ideas for quantity time people. One is to host a game day. Host a game day, not just a game night, but host a day of gaming and invite your quantity time people over and other friends as well, and just spend a bunch of time together all in a row, all in one day. I think that can go a long way. Number 2 is to play a longer game, even if it's just one game. Pick the person's favorite long game and organize a group to play it and get together and actually play that game. Games like a Game of Thrones, Twilight Imperium, these super long epic games that take all day. Organize it, take care of the food, take care of the organization, and invite your quality or quantity time people to play this game together with you. And the third category is to commit to a campaign game with someone. And you can even buy them the campaign game. So if they're eyeing from this year, we have games like Ticket to Ride Legacy that came out this year. So you can say, hey, let's get together. I'm going to commit to, I want to get you this game that I know you love, or ask them what game they want to do this campaign game with, what they want to do this campaign idea with. And say, okay, I'm going to get this campaign game for you. We can pick a few different people to play with, and I'm going to commit to play, or just do it one-on-one. You can do it that way. You can work around your schedules a little bit easier if it's just the two of you, and say, I'm going to commit to getting together every weekend for the next 3 to 4 weekends, and we're going to play through this campaign game together. I think that can be really satisfying with mounting campaign games on shelves that you just haven't gotten to. The idea that you can actually commit to it and play through it with someone can, I think, be really satisfying. So that is my last category for quantity time, committing to a campaign game and maybe gifting the campaign game itself. And that leads me into the 5th category, tangible gifts. So again, we're talking about this range of games, and we're talking about gaming as a category of gifts. But I want to emphasize that actually giving a game or something tangible related to a game is only one of the 5 categories, but it is still a legitimate category for someone who feels appreciated when they receive a tangible thing. I would recommend, don't assume that the people in your life feel the most loved by receiving a tangible thing. Again, they might already have plenty of games on their shelf, or they might value some other ways. They might feel loved in other ways. That's why I focus on the other categories first. But tangible gifts. I've broken this down into a few different things to consider as you are, if you know someone really loves tangible gifts that you might think about for that special gamer in your life. One, you might think about player count. If they're a person who primarily plays games solo or two-player or at higher player counts, that will have a big impact on your decision of which game to buy for them. The second is cooperative versus competitive. Do they prefer to play games cooperatively or competitively? Also, another consideration is, do they prefer to play a game that they feel like a lot of other people know and love, or are they excited by the hot new game? So are they excited by one of the hot new releases of 2024? I have a few of them on the thumbnail image here. Or are they more excited by a game that they've heard a lot of other people talk about for a long time that they haven't actually played that they might want to get into? I think that's a consideration as well. One other consideration is to consider getting someone a hard to get game. So the person in your life who loves tangible gifts, it's possible that they might already have many of the games that they want to own and they want to play, but there might be a few games that they just haven't been able to get because they've been out of print for a while. Maybe there's an older version of a game that they treasure. Maybe there's a nostalgia factor to a game, or maybe it's just a really nice special edition of the game if you have a bigger budget for gifts. To get someone a game that is harder to get, or even an accessory that is harder to get, or a special edition of a game can mean a lot to someone. And last, for the person in your life who has a very full game shelf, rather than adding another game to that shelf, you can help them go deeper into one of those games, one of the games they love on their shelf, by getting them either an expansion or getting them a fancy accessory for that game. And that accessory can come from a third party or directly from the publisher. Something like realistic resources inside, metal coins. We have those for many of our games. For Wormspan, we just released these fancy stone eggs that kind of look like they're made of jade. A lot of publishers have these things. They have promos as well. So getting someone even a smaller thing that can enhance a game that they already love can be a budget-friendly way of expressing how much you care about someone. And I think that's a good way to wrap this up. Like, gift giving is not about the giver, and I think that's really important to keep in mind when you decide to express yourself through giving a gift to someone else. That it is not about what you want to give someone. It's about the recipient. A true gift, I think, a really meaningful gift that will make someone feel loved takes into account the way that they feel loved, whether that is a tangible gift or that is quantity time, quality time, acts of service, or words of affirmation. If you can figure out someone's love language, and sometimes that might mean actually just asking them, what is your love language? And having that conversation with them about how they feel the most loved in these different ways. That can be a breakthrough in itself, and that can lead to you giving to them, when you decide to give to them for a special occasion, to a more enriching relationship with that person, which I think is really lovely and really wonderful. So, those are my thoughts on this style of gift giving, where you're thinking a lot more about the recipient and how they feel cared for, seen, and loved. And I'd love to hear what you have to add to this. If you can relate to this style of gift giving, and if you can think of anything else gaming related in any of these categories that I didn't touch upon, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. I did look at the comments of the original video to add to some of these categories. They were very helpful. So maybe I'll remake this video in a few years, and I might look at the comments again. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks.